What's up? What's up? What's up, my beautiful, diverse American people? It's me, JD, the good JD, and I gotta say, man, I am beaming this morning. I am beaming this morning. I am so proud. I am so proud this morning of number one, Miami. I love Miami. I love the city of my inspiration, where I grew up, where my southern roots come out, even when I'm trying to be using ridiculi ad absurdum to make a point. But my pride today comes from my Cuban roots. The Cuban roots that when a little boy was taken from New York, bribed by my mom that I was going to have horses because I loved horses as a little boy, and that was the way she convinced me to leave my beloved Bronx, where we could see the glow of Yankee Stadium, blocks from where we lived. Um, as a naive young child, in my mind, Mickey Mantle was my brother. So leaving the Bronx was not something that I wanted to do, but my mom convinced me, and we moved down to Miami, Florida. This sleepy, beautiful little beachside community. Our first apartment was on 7th, right across from where the Marlins Stadium is today, and back then where a brand new Orange Bowl sat right across the street from the apartments that we lived, that my aunt actually lived in, and we were staying with her, while we found our place. So it was culture shock, coming from the Bronx to the emptiness of what Miami was at the time. But, it was amazing. I quickly fell in love. And one day, they were just tired of us kids running around and doing. They said, "Look, go across the street. There's something happening over there. Go across the street." And that back park, that stadium, that whatever that is over there. Hey, we didn't know what there was. So they sent us over there, and man, were we blown away when we discovered this game called football. But it was what, these guys in these warrior outfits with these helmets and we were like blown away. We were like blown away. So we fell in love with football, needless to say. But baseball was always, our game, our sport. Over the years, more and more we fell in love, and obviously myself became a Dolphin fan, and I still am a Dolphin fan, suffering as we may be right now. But we grew to love this sport. We didn't see a lot of our names on the uniforms. You never saw a Rodriguez, you never saw a Perez, you never saw a Gomez, you never saw a Mendoza. And that is where my pride is today. I'm so proud of this young man, Fernando Mendoza. Cuban heritage, raised in Miami, from a wonderful Cuban family. I'm getting emotional now. I was bawling last night. And I'm a man enough, and I have enough cojones to say that I was crying last night watching the Heisman ceremony, and this amazing young man representing the beautiful, talented American diversity. that I speak of in every video. And in God's amazing, because this is where God truly is present in moments like this, that in a nation currently under a criminal syndicate regime who has weaponized our organizations and is attacking people like myself, blessed by a racist, bought and paid for SCOTUS that okayed hunting human beings by skin color y el idioma que hablamos. This young man spoke in Spanish, thanked his parents, his grandparents, and most of all, what broke me down was his love for his mother, who he thanked. Above all, the ultimate mama's boy, like I was. And I was criticized for what I did for my mother. But there you go. Latino excellence, what they fear most. And because God is so great in their game, the best player is a Latino, a Cuban American, just like me, just like the vast majority of minorities that built this nation and have risen despite all the obstacles that get thrown in our way. My long hair is a tribute to my native roots. And those that say I'm not Cuban, I'm more Cuban than you'll ever be, even though I wasn't born there. But it comes out naturally through my blood. Y hablo español cuando me sale de los cojones, because I'm a free American and I can speak in whatever fucking language I want, whatever fucking language my intelligence allows me to manage. That's why in my policies, when I am your president, on day one, I'm going to sign an executive order so that every American will receive a digital translator to wear in your ear, on your glasses, on the brim of your cap, so you understand everybody everywhere, and you cannot say that you want people removed from their families, from their children, because you dumb fucks don't understand different languages and have no culture to draw on, that you need these racist, white supremacist bullshit because you have no culture. You think you have no culture, but you do. You have the greatest culture of all. You have the culture of the melting pot of America, because whether you realize it or not, we love you. People come to America for the American dream because they want to be like you dumb fucks. They want the opportunities that you've taken for granted. Sucking down cigarettes, drinking Marlboros or Bud Lights or whatever the fuck you do with it out of your trailer instead of investing your money. You smoke meth and then blame everybody around you for your incompetence. A good friend someone that I love. I can honestly say is someone who I respect. Reached out to me, um, very detailed message, um, fully support of what I say, but he advises me to, I guess, to tone it down was what he was trying to say, because he expressly mentioned that when I talk about these dumbass beta boy bitches, I sound Southern. And my friend is a white Southerner, raised in the South, and then he says, "But that's offensive, bro. You're offending uh, Southern white people in the assumption that you say they're stupid." And it took me aback a little bit because the truth is that's not what that character is. When I talk about this guy, I'm talking about a stupid man. I'm not talking about a Southerner. But, and here's where it gets interesting. Because I'm raised in the South. I was raised in Miami. Like I've said in other videos. I listened to Leonard Skinner, Neil Young. I grew up in South Florida, where there were no Cubans at the time. So my friends were white Southern Americans. And that accent that comes out, that twang, is authentic. That twang that y'all hear in my voice when I make fun of the morons of the beta boy bitches, which is who I'm making fun of, it's not intended to be at Southern. It is my roots. It is my upbringing. It is my Southern upbringing that comes through in that voice. Because like I keep saying, I represent every American by my DNA. That proves that I'm black, white, Latino, Native, European, African, South American, Central American. I am the American people. And that pride that I am beaming with today for Fernando Mendoza and his family and our Cuban community and the city of Miami for coming up and standing up for democracy. The founding fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. That's all they wanted. These were detailed, deliberate writers. They wanted a white nation. They would have said, "We the white people." If they wanted a Christian nation, they would have said, "We the Christian people." If those were their intentions. They were not. Their intention was freedom. A nation built on freedom, so you could be a Christian, so you could be white and feel free. And I said it again, that document itself is democracy. Because they weren't all in agreement in assigning percentages to human beings. Some said full rights, we're building a nation on freedom. So every American, every occupant of the land has to be free. The other side said, no way, not at all. We own slaves. We don't want to change that. We're going to continue to own our slaves. So no rights at all. And because they're building a nation on freedom, a democratic nation, they came to that deplorable, horrific compromise that planted the seed of freedom and democracy and built their nation on freedom. So it's not a Christian nation. It's not a white nation. It's a free nation. And that's what we got to get back to. I'm George Delara. I want to be our next president. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician. I have zero resources to mount a campaign. I just tried to use promote on TikTok to get more followers, more views, not even followers, just to get more views, and they didn't allow it. They are threatened by my words. They did not allow me to promote because they're saying it's political content. This is for entertainment purposes. There's no campaign. I'm just a free American expressing my freedom of speech to say that I know we the people can do better and assert that it's time for one of us. We've had military leaders, we've had political leaders, we've had actors, we had P.T. Barnum take our presidency. What we've never had is one of us, a regular American, a grandpa, a grandma. I'll say it again, a single mom who raised 3 kids successfully despite her idiot husband. That's leadership. That's overcoming. And that's what we're going to have to do. We have to overcome ignorance and hatred that's been bottled up. Because this didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a vacuum. There have been decades upon decades of relentless GOP attacks on the education system throughout red states. I'm in the Midwest. You drive around and you'll see abandoned, closed ruins of what once were schools throughout. Everywhere. From private churches to private schools to public schools to school churches, churches that belong to school, churches that have schools, all shut down. Because the secret of freedom is education. And the secret of tyranny is ignorance. There was a politician named Barry Goldwater. Look it up. In the 60s, he ran for president. And he already was outraged and terrified. And he said the day that these preachers take hold of the Republican Party, and they will, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad because to govern and to lead, you have to compromise. And these people don't believe in compromise because they believe everything they do is the Word of God. Just like the Crusaders did, just like the Inquisitors did, just like the KKK did, just like the Nazis did, and like MAGA, that they all cling to Christianity as their machine gun to destroy people. So we're going to put an end to that. We need love and intelligence. We need the governance of love and intelligence over the governance of ignorance and hatred. And we're seeing it everywhere. The attack on Venezuela. What they're doing in Venezuela is exactly the same thing Putin did to Ukraine. That's what they want to do. They're attacking a sovereign nation on fabricated scenarios. Nazis in Ukraine, fentanyl in Venezuela, for the sole purpose of Putin reunifying the USSR because he wants USSR reassemble the USSR. And the beta boy bitches who it's about drill, baby, drill. It's about oil. Because they've created a population between the white Christian churches and the GOP, a population that reads at a second, third grade level or lower collectively, if at all. Some don't read at all. So that they can be easily manipulated, pliable to whatever narcissistic religious mumbo jumbo they want to spew. So they know that whatever they say, they're going to swallow. So like I say, I want intelligent America. I want people who understand that we are a democracy, that a constitutional republic is a democracy. And that if you don't have democracy, you have dictatorship. This is not new. This is not innovative. This is the exact same playbook they used in Cuba, the same playbook that Putin used, that Hitler used, that Mussolini used, that Pol Pot used. It's the same autocratic dictatorship bullshit, which is solely about power and greed. Because Cubans say that Cuban roots group, Trump can't be a dictator. He's a capitalist. You fucking morons. Don't you realize that the biggest capitalists of all are the dictators? Because only they control the entire capital of the entire country? The only group that pushes back on my views on democracy, freedom, anti-dictatorship, and the obvious similarities between Fidel Castro and the autocrat dictatorship that they have there, because there's no socialism in Cuba. There's no communism in Cuba. There's solely autocratic dictatorship. My grandfather used to say it was the law of the funnel. Big and full at the top and empty the little drips at the bottom. That's Cuba. If there were socialism, you'd see some kind of social development, like in China. That's socialism. Cuba is not socialism. Cuba is not communism. Cuba is autocratic dictatorship. The same playbook that the beta boy bitches are using here. But here's the thing. Cubans know more than all the rest of us. Don't tell anybody. Cubans that grew up on the island know more about American democratic governments. They know more about American politics from what they learned in Cuba than anyone could ever know that grew up in America. They know more about American politics from their Cuban education. This is their thought process. This is what they believe. That because they grew up in Cuba, they know more about American politics than anybody else. So, the vast majority of those will not support a candidate like myself. Number one, the color of my skin. They identify with whiteness. They want to be white. No matter how black their grandmothers were, Cubans are white. They want to be white, whether they are or not. So they're never going to identify with someone like me, even though I am Cuban and I'm probably more Cuban than them, because my roots trace to the actual Taínos from the islands that were all over the southeastern United States and the Caribbean, the original natives. Because according to them, the Spaniards acabaron, los españoles acabaron con todos los indígenas, con ese pelo lacio tuyo, eso no es, tú no eres cubano, no puedes ser cubano. I say I can't be Cuban because I have straight hair. And the Spaniards killed off all the Indians, all the natives. There were none left. And let me tell you something. Spaniards are some horny motherfuckers, all right? They did not kill them beautiful native women that blew their minds with the beauty that they had never imagined and never seen before in their lives. So I guarantee you they did not kill all those beautiful native women that were on those islands. And men, because, hey, they were Spaniards. Like I said, they were horny. So we're here. We survived. Because, like in Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum so eloquently said, life finds a way. And that's what I'm asking you. What kind of president do you want? I know a lot of you have the president you wanted. This is the perfect president. This is the one you've always been waiting for because you're fucking losers. And you don't want a president to make your life better. You only want a president to make the lives of others worse. We've never had that before. We never had a president openly go out and destroy lives, fire people, create more unemployment and more hunger and despair than any president ever, and you're proud of that. This is what you've been waiting for. But to the rest who feel this is not the founding fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. This is not justice for what they undertook when they took on the biggest army on the planet and told King George, listen, motherfucker, go fuck yourself. We want freedom. And built the nation on freedom. We the people. I love you. I love every single one of you. And I apologize if my characterizations of beta boy bitches and ignorance tend to twang in a certain way. I assure you it's fully authentic. It comes from within me. It's not something I'm trying to do. In fact, last night I was trying to not sound like that after my friend pointed it out. And I can't. When I talk like a dumbass, I'm gonna sound like a dumbass. Sorry. Don't be a dumbass. I love you. I love every single one of you, and I know we can do better. We are the greatest nation on the planet. And there's no reason for us to be rich. We don't need to be rich. We need to be prosperous. We need to measure our prosperity by the lack of hunger, the lack of despair, the lack of homelessness, the lack of our veterans on the streets because they've been abandoned by president after president after president. I'm not going to do that. My father served in the U.S. Army and disappeared. I don't know him. I have his dog tags on my keychain. The military confirmed that he served, that he was honorably discharged, and that he worked as a private contractor for the military after his service. But all records of his service beyond that was burnt in a base fire. No further information is available on his service. So I have a stake in this country. I have the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And myself served in domestic intelligence, going into places where fully armed law enforcement would not, to do the work for you, the American people. And that's why all this redistricting irks me and makes me so fucking pissed, because redistricting only happens after a decennial census that I worked on. Several of them. As a team leader, doing special censuses for cities that outgrew their population between the 10-year periods, that you have to do a special census to come out and count again between. So just redistricting because a beta boy bitch doesn't want to lose and wants to cheat is not redistricting, it's cheating. And that's what they need to call every one of those efforts. They're cheating, they're not redistricting. Redistricting only happens after a decennial census, period. And that is the very perversion that Abraham Lincoln warned of when he said, we the people are the rightful masters of both the courts and the Congress, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would pervert our Constitution. And we see a daily perversion of it. So I say enough of that shit. It's time for one of us. That's it. Doesn't have to be me. It could be you. Your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your mom, your grandpa. A regular American. Someone who's not in the shit. Someone who's not in the monopolies. Someone who's not a captain of industry or an up-and-coming politician from Washington. No, we need one of us. We need someone who's outside of all of that shit. Someone who personifies leadership, integrity, and isn't going to be bought or tempted by the greed. I have no interest in the greed. I'm going to tell you right now, the president's salary is more than enough for me. It'll be the best paying job I would ever fucking have. So don't come and try to bribe me. Don't come and try to give me planes. Don't try to flatter me, because I don't give a fuck about any of that. In fact, I only want to be president 4 years. Only 4. I want to be that transition to the younger generation. This is not about me. It's about returning our nation to the Founding Fathers' vision of a nation built on freedom. And let freedom reign. That's what I'm about. Founding Fathers did not want a nation run by elites. They did not want a monarchy. They wanted a nation by the people and for the people. That's why they put we the people bigger at the top. These detailed, deliberate writers could have written, in order to form a more perfect union, we the people. They didn't do that. They wrote, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union. That was intent. Because they knew that the power and strength of their nation moving forward was in we the people. United. That other little word they fear so much. So, I'm proud. I'm so proud of this young man. I'm so proud of my Cuban community. I'm so proud of the city of Miami. And I'm proud. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to hear the voices of individuals saying that this isn't it. This beta boy bitch, greed-driven bullshit isn't it. This is not what we want. This is not what the Founding Fathers envisioned when they built their nation. And I know that even a lot of you that voted for this know that this isn't what you wanted. If you're a sentient, cognizant, good human being, you know that this isn't right. And only the beta boy bitches, the ones who want a president to make the lives of others worse, are enjoying this. And there's a special place in hell for you guys. You religious ones. The dildo of consequence rarely comes lubed. I love you. And I know that's one of the things that my buddy mentioned, that I'm a little crude, I'm rough around the edges, and I admit it. Should this crazy and impossible, which, by the way, thanks to you guys, because I've done nothing other than come here and express my freedom of speech. Thanks to you guys, we've over 2 million views documented on multiple platforms from you guys. So, like I said, should we get to a point where we really become a force and let the powers that be know that we, the people, will be reckoned with. We have our own idea of who we want and the type of leadership we want through love and intelligence rather than ignorance and hatred and greed. Should it get to that point, yes, I will soften my tone as required. I will be more polished once we have the right group of love and intelligence guiding this, because this is not about me. It's not something I can do by myself. It's about you. So, yeah, I'm crude. I'm rough. I don't tiptoe. I make fun. But it's all out of love. It's all out of the need to wake motherfuckers up to understand that we're not your enemies. We're not your enemies. We're the ones that stop on the highway when your car breaks down to help you. We're the one that help your wife when she gets stuck. We're the guys that help pull her car out. We're the ones that coach your kids. We're the ones that stand on street corners on intersections when the cities and the governments won't pay to have someone do it. That's who we are. We are young men who were told you're not good enough. Rise and win the Heisman Trophy in a sport we're never intended to be a part of. We the people. My beautiful, diverse American people. I love every single one of you. As usual, I've gone way too long. I'll post the full video on YouTube. I'll cut this up, post it in manageable bites. But it's all about loving you guys. Every single one of you. And like I said, I apologize to those that feel offended with my characterizations, with my voices, with my alpha, grandpa, Cuban passion and love for our country. Mark Twain said it best. Patriotism is loving your country always and your government when it deserves it. This government does not deserve my love. In fact, it deserves, it's earned ire, disgust. We the people. I love you. I'm George Delata. I want to be your next president. Share it. Hit all the little buttons. Poke everything, send it, share it, spread it. Oligarchy's not going to do it. They will not share the words of individual free Americans who oppose their oligarchy. I want to break up the monopolies. I want to tax the billionaires. I want to tax the churches that engage in political activities. And put all that to homelessness, hunger, education, the things that these churches should be doing. And fairness. That's all. That's all. It's not about weaponizing or attacking anybody. It's about making it fair, having a nation of prosperity, where the greatest nation on the planet doesn't have hungry children. I love you. God bless you. We the people. I'm George Delata. I want to be your next president. Cuban American, born in New York, raised in Miami. I love Miami. Crazy, crazy, crazy and impossible. This is crazy and impossible. That a brown, middle of the road, poor, not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician, regular fucking American, not a communist, not a socialist, not a Marxist, not anything other than a fucking American would want to be your president. A brown president, imagine that. If you had a black one, you didn't like him, even though he was great. Now you got an orange one that a lot of you love because he's making the lives of others worse, and that's exactly what you want. I know. I'm going to fix that. I love you. We the people. George Delara, I want to be your next president. Crazy and Impossible. This is Crazy and Impossible. Crazy and Impossible 2028. Search it, find it, share it. We the people.